Kempire is brought to you by...
We have officially kicked off our Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience tour. Philly, you were fantastic. We talked about so much during that show, from hot topics to Real Housewives. We covered everything. I need a 3-hour show. Unfortunately, they won't give it to us, but it's okay. It's okay. We can end up talking about all of these hot topics during the meet and greets as well. I'm coming to Atlanta on August 5th, then DC on August 22nd, then back in New York City on September 12th. So excited to meet and greet with you guys. All of the shows have meet and greets available, but the New York City show has a live stream option. So if you're around the country or around the world, you have an opportunity to experience the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era for yourself. Head on over to the description of this podcast episode for details on how you can get tickets for when we come to Atlanta, DC, or our New York City show. I'll see you guys all in a couple of weeks. Yeah, see you guys soon.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Oh, now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Hey, everyone. Woo. Yes. Happy Friday? Where? Who? What? Where? When did that happen? Where's the summer going? We're already halfway through the month. It's 11/11. Make a wish. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. It's 11/11. Make a wish, everyone. All right. I don't know. This could be Grease in the background. Femtara was watching us on TikTok. Shout out to our TikTok fam as well. Femtara, I don't know if you saw my comment on YouTube, but I asked you in your community post to do a quick reading today during your members live about the Astronomer CEO. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So if you were here yesterday, okay, can you guys hear me on YouTube? Let me just make sure. Okay, verify for you folks on YouTube. Okay. Because there's just so much to unpack, because more stuff has come out this morning right before the live when it comes to the Astronomer CEO. First of all, when we were here yesterday recapping Real House, thank you so much, Carrie. When we were here yesterday, I gave you an update in regards to the Astronomer CEO. Since then, allegedly, I'm going to say, because I haven't verified that this was actually his statement. Okay? So I just want to point that out. I haven't verified that this is his statement. I haven't verified that this is his daughter. Okay? But I do want to read the statement to you guys. So we're going to start off with that, because I didn't really love this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. It wasn't that great. I'd much rather talk about the housewife that is about to take half of that Astronomer CEO's hard-earned money. Then I have more tea on him allegedly doing this in the past. Are we surprised? No.
Lies! The lie!
We're not surprised by any of that. Okay? Okay. Oh, Femtara says, I saw online that the statement is fake. Well, I don't know. I haven't been able to verify if it's fake or not. I mean, I hope it's fake, because he sounded so like he was gaslighting Coldplay. He was gaslighting us, like we didn't see what we saw. But we'll read it for fun and giggles. Okay, I can't confirm or deny that is actually real. But I will say this: it was funny, especially in this day and age. Where is the statement? I had it somewhere on here. I will find it, or I'll play my own video, and you guys can hear it for yourselves, all right? All right. For those that are just joining us, welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Okay. Don't forget, you can also hear us on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to Atlanta on August 5th, then DC on August 22nd, and then we're back here in New York City on September 12th. More information on that will be available in the description. Okay? All right. Where was I? This Astronomer CEO situation. So if you missed it, yesterday we talked a little bit about this in regards to Astronomer CEO Andy Byron was caught on the kiss cam at the Coldplay concert in Boston for all hugged up and canoodling with his head of HR, his chief people officer. Okay? I'll show you the video again, so for those that may have not seen it.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? What?
Everyone is saying if they didn't react the way that they did, that it would have been nothing. I don't think so. I think regardless, that going public, it would have been something, regardless, because somebody would have come out and been like, that man is married, she's married. Which is why I find it to be so interesting that what, sir, you are in public, ma'am, you are in public. And literally, apparently, coworkers were there as well. I'm not surprised by that. Anyone else? I'm not surprised that this possibly people knew in the office. I've told you this before. I worked in corporate America. There were all kinds of unsavory things that happen at company parties. Okay? Theo on YouTube says, I can't get over the cheatation of the situation. I do want to say, speaking of which, happy birthday to Wendy Williams. Today's her 61st birthday. Come on. A round of applause for Wendy Williams. Free Wendy. Free Wendy. Okay, hold on. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Shout out to Feb Tarot, y'all. So I have the statement, the alleged statement. We don't know whether or not it's real or fake, but either way, I'm just going to say if it's fake, fine. It's still funny to us. Okay, we'll get to that. But I have an update. Let me just play this video again for you. For those that are watching us on YouTube, for those that are watching us on TikTok, if you want to see the video, you can see it on my page here, or you can watch it on our YouTube. We're about to show it to you again. So Andy Byron is the CEO of Astronomer. He became the CEO back in 2023. Okay, I don't know how long he's worked there. I'm sure he's worked there a good amount of time. Okay, apparently the head of HR, though, Kristen Cabot, she's been there for 9 months. I'm sure she's unemployed now, but don't worry for her. She'll be fine. I'm sure she's going to get some sort of severance package, and then she'll probably go off and be the chief people officer somewhere else. I gave you a full update on this yesterday, okay, during our Real Housewives of Miami recap. And I've done quite a few different short videos talking about this. I might have to do a long one after I do a deep dive, because there's more stuff that came out this morning. The daughter speaking out. Apparently, this is not the first time Andy Byron has cheated, allegedly. I'm just going to say allegedly. Let me play the video for you again. So this is what caused the stir yesterday that went viral.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right.
That's Chris Martin you're hearing.
Okay? Oh, what?
The way that Andy Byron disappeared, like how, not Chief, Nora on YouTube said Chief Mistress Officer.
All right, come on. You're okay? Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right.
My thing is, they have the nerve to be all hugged up. They have the nerve to be all hugged up like this. It's not like they were caught like taking a quick kiss. They were hugged up in public. Like the audacity. It's just not like they were at some private event, like they were in a movie theater somewhere where people caught them. No, they were all hugged up, listening to some Coldplay, like nothing. It's the audacity, which said to me, he's done this before. Well, that's what the streets are saying. We'll get to that in a second. Then we'll get to Real Housewives of Orange County. So yesterday, this statement came out, and I'm just going to say alleged statement because I haven't verified that this is actually from Andy Byron, but it's still funny to read. So let's read it together. All right. So this is the alleged statement from Andy Byron. New York, New York, July 17, 2025. He says, I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. Sidebar, the wife, based on what I've seen, multiple verified sources, says that she removed Byron from her Facebook name. Okay? I mean, I want her to remove that, but make sure she takes half of everything he has. This is not who I want to, this is his statement. He says, this is not who I want to be or how I want to represent the company I helped build. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps, personally and professionally. He says this, allegedly. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. For those that are watching this on YouTube, you see this picture, right? He's asking for privacy. Sir, you were at a public party. Look, you were at a public event. You were at a Coldplay concert. Oh, okay, thank you. Femtaro says the statement is fake, confirmed by the company, but we're going to still read it. Okay, Femtaro says confirmed by the company that it's a fake statement, but we can still reread it in key, right? All right. He says, I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle. As a friend once sang, this is where I was like, is this real? Again, for those that are just joining, it's not, apparently. However, this could also be astronomers seeing the public's reaction to this less than smart statement saying, oh, it's fake. Just saying. Okay. So it says, as a friend once sang, this is where I was like, this can't be real. As a friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Andy. Okay. All right. Femtaro's doing the Lord's work. She says even RHOC, which is the AI fact checker on X, says that it's fake, which is fine. What is not fake? This video.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
That's not fake. That's real. That's 100% real. All right. So I have an update in regards to this story. Again, I need to emphasize I have not verified whether or not this is actually Andy Byron's daughter, because what I've noticed is that this is her first TikTok and she's posted 2 TikToks. But this is what Cass says, nah, that statement seems real. We'll pretend that it's real, but for legal purposes, say that it's fake. Femtaro says, whoever made this statement is comedic genius, or it's AI. Unfortunately, we're in the age of AI, so I wouldn't be shocked that someone went into AI and put that together. But there's more that's playing out in regards to the Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron, in this situation. Okay? Because allegedly, his daughter is speaking out. I'm saying allegedly because, again, we have not verified. We are not CNN. Calm down. Okay? But apparently, this is the daughter. Sorry. Oh, what I wanted to say here, this video that she shows here, thank you guys, here is her dancing. Well, I have to turn off the music because she is playing Coldplay music, okay? So let me show you again. So I turned off the music, but she's playing Coldplay here. As you can see, reconnecting with life after your dad's affair. Reconnecting with life after your dad's affair makes national news. Again, I haven't verified whether or not this is actually his daughter. Check out my TikTok. I play the music there, okay? Then you see on the right here, again, haven't verified this is actually the daughter. All right? But on the right here, someone comments to her and says, I bet you're sobbing about this on a yacht or private jet. I don't feel bad for rich people. So she reposts that and shows a video of her running through a yacht, okay? And puts hashtag true. So she's also not self-aware like her dad. Shonda says she's mentally unwell if that's not her dad. No, this is the age of everyone trying to go viral. But again, Haven't verified whether or not this is his daughter or not, but it's interesting that she posted this video saying reconnecting with life after your dad's affair makes national news. I mean, she does kind of favor him, though. Okay, so that is one of the updates on this whole situation with the Astronomer CEO. I swear to you, we will be getting to Real Housewives of Orange County. But I have to say, this week's episode, if you had to rate this week's episode of Orange County, how would you rate it? I thought it was until the end. But for the most part, I didn't love the episode. But there was more that came out, allegedly. I'm saying allegedly because we have not verified that this is true. Okay? Let me just read to you something that I found on these Thread streets. Thread is becoming just as bad as Twitter. So this user on Threads says that also more tea via Blind, a community app where people into tech can chat anonymously. Okay? So this is what they said about Andy Byron, the Astronomer CEO who went viral yesterday for being caught out there with his head of HR, aka his mistress. So, they say this in this app where they can talk anonymously about some of these tech CEOs. Again, Astronomer is a tech company. He says, or they say, I reported to Andy directly at a prior company. He is one of the biggest pieces of ish I've ever met and a literal sociopath. He was having an affair with his head of sales ops at the time. He is a complete scam artist, allegedly. And each of his last few companies have raised big rounds after hiring him. Ooh. He cashes in huge amounts of secondary stock and then company fails horrifically. He is best friends with John McMahon, who is on the board at all these companies. You can literally look up his track record: Astronomer, Lacework, Cyber Reason, Fuse Thinking Phones, and Aviska, sold to RSA and then scrapped. Another person says he was having an affair with a 27-year-old sales op analyst. She was in her first sales op role, had about 15 to 20 months experience in it when he made her head of sales ops. I'm just going to say allegedly, okay? But please understand, if you're going to cheat so publicly this way, I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time that you've cheated. What I've also learned working in corporate America, a lot of these people that you see in top positions are not that smart. And the reason why they're in those top positions aren't because they're smart or savvy. I know a lot of people working in corporate America that you wonder, like, how in the hell do you even have this job? How do you keep this job? There are a lot of think pieces that we can have on how people that are rich, powerful, are probably oh, wait a minute, we have a perfect example here in America. All the way to the White House. Okay. All the way to the White House. All right, we've vamped enough. I just wanted to give you that update on the Astronomer CEO. I wasn't going to do, a separate video talking about these people that we have no idea who they are or who they will be in the future. But you never know. The way America turns nobodies into celebrities, wouldn't be surprised if you see a whole reality show about this. All right, speaking of reality shows, let's talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Are you guys watching? This was only episode 2. This was only episode 2. I have to say, even watching it a second time, last night when I watched it, I was like, this episode was kind of for me. And we've been talking about Real Housewives of Miami. Miami, despite some of the problematic things that we've been watching, it's still been entertaining. This episode, I was like, okay, I know nothing too much about Gretchen besides her history with Tamra. You guys school me on some of the things important details that I need to know and remember from Real Housewives of Orange County's early years when it comes to Tamra and Gretchen. And everyone was so excited to see Gretchen come. And I'm like, it's not landing for me, because here's the thing for me. If Gretchen has had this issue with Tamra for all these years, I'm the type of person I'm like, it might be time for both of you to let this go. I'm not here for revisiting beef from 15 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sort of like, okay, what are we talking about? Did something happen in recent years? And yes, some things have happened in recent years because Tamara has a podcast with Teddy and they talk about some of their counterparts on this podcast. And apparently she did talk about Gretchen back in 2023 when Slade's son passed away. Am I surprised that Tamara is a terrible human being talking about someone's son that passed away? I'm not surprised. I don't know why anyone's surprised. Okay, but I did see a lot of you were happy that Gretchen was back. Based off of this first episode, I was like, Foxy says Gretchen is kind of boring, to be honest. Probably why she didn't come back, too. Let's be honest. Okay? Dee Dee says that Gretchen, thank you for the information, Dee Dee. Dee Dee says Gretchen is a Scorpio. She will never let it go. So that makes sense. That tracks. Paula, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Paula says, someone take the Epstein files to the Coldplay concert so it can all be revealed. I think it is all being revealed slowly but surely. All right, let me take a sip of water and let me open my notes. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. It's only what? Episode 2. Okay, can we talk about Katie really quickly? First of all, they start off the episode because they didn't really end what happened at Golden Door, because you know how it ended. Katie was called out in some more lies and she was like, SOS, can't look up my DMs. You get what I mean? So I was like, okay. And then they open up this episode with them walking around that path, the Golden Door path. So they opened it up that way, and I was sort of like, okay, but how did I guess that's the way they wanted to end that scene, fine. But then they open up this episode with the actual episode with the ladies going to this body roller massage place. I've never seen anything like that, but I can appreciate it because there's so many things that gets repeated on Real Housewives. I was like, okay, this is something that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? So they go and they're trying out these different machines. Apparently those machines hurt, but you know, that kind of stuff does move your lymphatic system. They say those things work. Then of course they have to make it sexual, and then they're straddling the machine, and they're just like, who needs a husband when you have this? Okay. But of course, then it leads to them talking about the whole Katie of it all. And Emily said that she was frustrated with Shannon defending Katie. Here's the thing with the Real Housewives ladies. They get so high school with people, because even Emily was saying that she can't be friends with Gretchen if she wants to be friends with Tamra. No, of course you can. Why can't you be friends with Gretchen? I don't feel like Emily and Tamra are that deep of friends for you to have some sort of solidarity with Tamra. But these ladies will have solidarity with certain people because they're full time, because they feel like, oh, this will secure my spot on the show. So I don't know. I do feel like a lot of these relationships are alliances and not real friendships, unfortunately. Pageant Mommy says it works. I've never seen this. Is this something that we can do in New York? That seems like it would hurt. But I mean, apparently it does hurt based off their reaction. But I believe in like moving your lymphatic system and stuff like that. I just never seen this sort of mechanism. But the Orange County is like a whole other world. Next time I go to California, I need to go to Orange County for a hot second before the sun goes down. Just saying. I've heard some other things about Orange County as well. Okay. Housewives is the equivalent of middle-aged middle school. That's what it feels like, especially when you hear some of these women talk about their friendships and, quote, friendships. Patricia says, like Phaedra. Ooh. Oh, Pageant Mommy says, I have someone. Oh, okay. All right. So they end up, after they're done doing that massage, they go all off to do sort of like the lymphatic drainage stuff, the red light therapy. I've done the red light therapy. You ever done the red light therapy? I've done like the full body stuff. I mean, they say it works, but you have to do it consistently over time. You can't just do it once and automatically it's, you know what I mean? I've done it for like when I get a facial. And they on TikTok, they sell all those masks with it. I don't know if it works. All right. Exactly. Good Girl says, as a black man, be safe. Heard things about Orange County. Exactly. I said, before the sun goes down, I'll be back home. All right. Okay. Angel says, I use my vibration plate daily. It works. Again, you have to use it consistently, though. I do believe those things work. And you're not going to see a dramatic thing after one use. It's after a while. Okay? All right. So, Emily talks about being upset with Shannon for defending Katie. Okay. But I get it on some level because you feel like Katie has done some egregious things. But I also understand why Shannon is sort of like, she doesn't like to see a gang up because she's been in that position before. In a separate scene, we see Katie and Shannon hang out. And Katie says she's grateful for Shannon having her back. She needed it because nobody else was going to have her back. Katie says that she sometimes shuts down because of the trauma that she went through her ex-husband. Based on what she talks about when it comes with her ex-husband, it seems like it was an abusive situation. So I was sort of like, okay, I'm going to give Katie some grace here. However, Katie, what I've seen over these last few episodes from last season and this season, you're coming across like a liar. And that could stem from a whole assortment of things. Because wasn't she adopted? Am I making that up? Wasn't she supposed to go to Korea to meet her family? Like her biological? Yeah, she was adopted. So it might stem from that, y'all. If we really break down the psychology of it all. I'm not surprised that a child that might have gone through trauma as a child might lie a lot. And they lie because they try to create their own fantasy world. And then it becomes this whole, okay, here we go. I'm trying, Katie. I'm trying to give you some grace. Right? Look, Monique on TikTok says, nah, I'm adopted. We don't lie if we are not. Well, no, I'm not saying that all adopted people lie. What I'm saying, I'm not surprised that maybe she does this. Virginia says, yes, she's adopted. I almost forgot. Thank you, Angel. Yes, Missy, thank you. All right. Mr. Melly says, Slade was a deadbeat dad, but Tamra is a deadbeat mom, so she can't say much. Was he really a deadbeat dad? Because it feels like, at least in this episode, they're trying to paint a different narrative that he was never a deadbeat dad, according to Gretchen. But for those of you that watched the show and you remember all the tea that spilled out during those years, is Slade a deadbeat dad? I need more than one person to confirm. Is he? Key says that's possible in regards to my speculation on why Katie lies the way that she lies. Just saying. All right. Okay, Monique says kinda. Kinda? Oh, see, Naomi. Okay, Naomi. So I'm not too off when it comes to why Katie might be the way that she is. Pageant Mommy says Slade is extremely problematic. I have heard that. But I don't remember all the reasons why that he was considered problematic. Is it because he's a deadbeat dad, or were there some other things? All right. Missy says, Kemp be twerking a little too hard here for Katie. Am I twerking? Have you been here, Missy, when it comes to what I've said about Katie over last season and this season? Right now, I'm trying to give her some grace because she's now bringing up her trauma from her relationship, her abusive relationship with her husband, her ex-husband. Okay, everyone's saying that he was a deadbeat dad. So Tamara wasn't wrong, but Tamara's not a great mom either, allegedly. Naomi says, Kemp is right. I am similar, but working on it. All right. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Jamal says he hopped from housewife to housewife, but he's been with Gretchen for like 15 years. That's got to say something. I do remember people saying that. He did date a lot of the housewives. Damn. Hey, Janice. Janice, we haven't seen you in a live in a hot second. I see you in the replay crew. Shout out to Janice. Janice has been following the channel. Oh, my gosh. Janice, what? Has it been 5 years? Going on 6? Wow. And she's a member. She's been a member for a long time as well. Janice says Slade has slept his way through the early OC cast. I did hear that. I appreciate the cliff notes, everyone. And you all say that they are not married now, Wendy. They talked about that in this week's episode. Did they get married between the filming? Wendy says they're married now. No, she says that they still haven't gotten married. At least on this episode. I don't know if they got married since filming, but I don't think so. Okay, Yuffie says no. Okay, Bradford, calm down. He says, I'm adopted, has nothing to do with lies. Bradford, I'm not saying all adopted people lie. What I'm saying, I said that might be the root of what's happening with her in regards to the trauma that she went through growing up. Maybe. I'm trying to give her some grace, y'all. This is the only grace I'm going to be able to give Katie. Can we ride with it for a hot second? Because, okay, yeah, Nina says they're not married. Yeah, they talked about this. Patricia says no, they're life partners. Yeah, so they did not get married. But they've been together for a long time now. Yeah, someone says that they're on Goldie and Kurt's timing. I mean, not getting married is not for everyone. Look at Oprah and Stedman. Y'all love it when I use that as an example. All right. Let me move on because I'm already jumping ahead. Okay. If you're just joining us, guys, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. I won't be here long because I actually have to go by the latest 12:30 because I have an appointment. Okay. Miss Bernice says that Slade is an F-boy with money. Oh, what does he do for a living? Okay, you guys are giving me the tea. What does Slade do for a living? I will say this again. I only know a little bit of his history, but I do know that he's extremely problematic. Okay, and I do know that he slept with quite a few of the housewives in Orange County. But I looked at him. I was like, he's a handsome man. I mean, how old is he? He looks pretty good. He seemed not as problematic as I could have thought. Winter says, nah, Katie's a strange one. No, she really is strange. But we will get there. I'm building you guys up to take you down later.
Lies! The lies!
I'm building you up. Patrick Mom said he works? Okay, hold on. What? Oh, Foxy says he had no money, though. Wait, huh? Wait, so what does he do for a living? What does Gretchen do for a living? Hold on. Okay, you guys are giving me the tea on this whole situation. Forever Tyranny says he lost his job and had no money when he got with Gretchen. Coco on TikTok says he's broke. Tanya says, hold on, he works? Good Girl says he used to. So what happened? How is he making money now? Nola says that Gretchen's an influencer. Slade works for Gretchen. Okay. They have a daughter together. We've really jumped ahead. Let me get back in order and then we'll get back to this. So Tamra dropped some tea. She said, first of all, Tamra says that Katie is a silent assassin. Oh, Mr. Mellon says Kemp, he's a con artist. They both are. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Janet. Janet says that Slade was an investment banker. Let me tell you this, though. Part of me wishes when I was in my 20s that I was an investment banker. I mean, I probably would have came out with an addiction, but I would have been able to retire at 30. At least here in New York. I don't know about in other places. They make a lot of money. I mean, I probably wouldn't look as youthful, but I would have had a lot of money and probably trauma from being one of the few black men in investment banking. All right. And Gretchen has a handbag line. Huh. Damn, Jamal says they're both con artists. Oh my gosh. Hey, TikTok fam, we are live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. I just come on here behind the scenes. What? Okay. Lakia says Gretchen has several businesses and he manages it. Oh, he works for her. Damn, Foxy says Slade is a Kelvin. Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kelvin. What? Oh, Paula says he owed child support, so not to marry him. So not smart to marry him. So that makes sense why she didn't marry him. What? Care Bear says that they're both Scorpios. Wow. I am getting a full update on this situation with Gretchen. You got bigger problems than Tamra. What? Okay. Wow. Thank you guys for the update on this situation. Now I have a clear perspective on who we're watching. Why would they want to get back on reality television? To help the influencer business? Let's be honest, being on this reality show, and remember, OC usually does very well. Their ratings last week weren't great for their premiere, but normally the show does fairly well. And either way, being on this platform is great for an influencer. Oh, why does she do all that stuff with the Facetune? She says she doesn't do any plastic surgery or anything like that. And I was like, so why is she doing all this Facetune stuff where her nose disappears? I already know that's like the running joke with Gretchen. Even before she came on the show, I knew that was a running joke with her. Thank you, Janice. Janice says, Kempire, stick with us. We will fill you in on all of the background, which I appreciate. You know, Orange County is the only city in this franchise that I am not 100% familiar with. I started recapping it because you guys asked me to. And I sometimes do it begrudgingly, like this week. Okay. Oh, no, I know y'all seen it. Says, yep, Jeff put Gretchen on. What? Forever Tyranny says that Slade lost his job and became Gretchen's assistant. Right? Exactly, Angel. That was really good of Black Monday. Angel says, can you you would have been a great investment banker as long as you didn't end up like Don Cheadle on Black Monday. That was a great show. Yeah. I mean, that's a hard life, but okay. Sharon says, Kempire, you got checked. You missed it. What do you mean I got checked? By who? Who's checking me on my own platform while they're watching me? But okay. All right. Anyway, moving on. All right. So we have Tamra saying that she feels like Katie is a silent assassin. Tamra reveals that Katie, this is where she drops the tea at the very beginning of the episode, that Katie had recorded Shannon during when they were filming their opening credit, promo thing, the promo shoot that they do for the show. So apparently they're just confirming what people have said about Shannon behind the scenes for a very long time, that she is a nightmare, allegedly, behind the scenes. So in this moment, they are confirming that, she came in like a bat out of hell during this. She was very upset. She didn't like the fact that Alexis was there the same day as them, whatever it may be. But remember, the host of Love Island got in trouble for slamming Shannon on social media. And all of y'all, all the Real Housewives fans were like, oh, you just want to be relevant, blah, 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 blah. And some of us, we were like, no, we've heard that Shannon can be a nightmare behind the scenes. Miss Melon Magic says, I used to be Team Tamra when she went against Gretchen years ago. Well, that would be interesting. I wonder what I would have been back then. I mean, I really don't love Tamra, but just because Tamra she does horrible things to people that don't deserve it. Okay. So, Lakia says, I would look at the messenger, not the message. In regards to Tamra, yeah. Shonda says, back when Tamra was likable. There was a time when Tamra was likable? I need to go watch those years. Veronica says that a hot mama malification tried to shame you. Shame me? About what? Shame me about what? Veronica, hot mama malification, keep watching. Please understand, we have no shame over here. Yes, I do recall the whole naked wasted situation. That was brought up during one of the callers during last week's situation. And I have to say, when you guys told me about that, maybe last season or the previous season about Tamra, I was like, what? She did what? And she's still on this show? Okay. Okay. Patrick Mommy says, I liked Tamra and do not dislike her now. Just saying. Okay. That's a hill to die on, but okay. All right. This is a safe space to have different opinions, but I would like to hear your defense of Tamra and some of the things that she's done in recent years. But that's me. Okay, all right. Tanasa says, born and raised in the city of Orange in Orange County, and Kempire, you would have been fine. All right, that's good to know. I mean, I know a couple of black people that live in or people of color that live in Orange County, and they were like, for the most part, I'm fine. Okay. All right, let me focus, guys, and then we can get to you guys updating me on everything else. Yeah. Oh, how did I not know about this, Kristen? Kristen says Naked Wasted was the first Housewives scandal. What season was that? And what episode? So I can just watch it. That way I don't have to watch everything. Or at least watch that episode in the fallout. All right. Okay. So Tamra spills that tea about what Katie did. But apparently Tamra has been holding on to that so that she can reveal it later. All right. Because Shannon had this meltdown when they were doing this promo shoot for the show. And apparently Katie recorded it. Why are we not having a bigger reaction to Katie recording it? That's sort of like what Brittany from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City did. Remember, they made a big issue about that. Why are you recording us? That was weird. Y'all don't think that was weird? That Katie recorded Shannon having a meltdown and then denied it later. Did y'all realize that she denied it later? And then admitted it. Like, there's a pattern. Veronica says, Kempire was about Katie lying because of her adopted background. Of course, you were not saying all Oh, calm down, people. If anything, I'm trying to understand the psychology of why Katie might be lying all the damn time. I'm not saying all people that are adopted lie. I'm just saying there might be something there in regards to the trauma that she went through as a kid and the abuse that she went through as a relationship. Stop making a generalization. I wasn't making a generalization with all adopted people. My God. See what? Y'all really just take the fun out of us talking about people we don't know. If you don't like what you're watching, go somewhere. I'm not for you then. Oh, y'all annoy me. Not y'all. Some of y'all annoy the hell out of me. And this is a show I don't even love recapping. So now you might ruin it for everybody else when I say I'm not going to recap it anymore because y'all take the serious and y'all make this stuff too serious. Mind you, I'm trying to understand the psychology of why she lies the way that she lies. All right. Anyway, back to this. All right. And again, if you don't like what you're watching, leave and don't come back. All right, moving on. All right, so Shannon then tries to give Katie some advice because she feels like Katie, and again, Katie says the reason why she does it, she feels like it's a trauma from what she went through with her ex-husband that she sort of clams up. She clams up, and that's why. But Shannon says that she needs to also work on, when she makes an apology, not to do any sort of, but at the end, I apologize, but. And a lot of these housewives do that. So Shannon's like, you have to learn on how to just apologize and not to have any sort of excuse. All right? All right. Just Tony says, I like Katie, but she needs to stand up to these girls and not care. I wish I could say that I like Katie, but I'm noticing a pattern with Katie. All right? I'm noticing a thing with her. And then again, at the beginning of this recap, I was trying to find maybe the psychology as to why she does what she does. But by the end of this episode, I'm like, oh no, she just lies for no reason. But okay. Look, okay. All right. So then we have in our next scene, we have Shannon speaking with her daughter. She's updating her daughter, Sophie, is in New York. And I love the fact, as a New Yorker, Sophie saying, well, technically I can't be a New Yorker until I've been there at least 10 years. Whoever taught Sophie that, I'm glad. You're right, Sophie. You have to be here at least 10 years and survived. Okay? But good for Sophie. So she's here. She broke up with her boyfriend. She wants to be single and have a good time. Good for her. I'm actually glad. However, some might say, girl, you don't want to be single in New York. Everybody's trying to find a man. All right. But good for her. I think that's the best thing that she could do for herself. Because how old is Sophie? Sophie is like 20, in her early 20s. Don't get bogged down in a relationship yet. Enjoy your 20s, especially here in New York. And Melissa says Sophie's choice. You know what? So Sophie has this great job in sports here in New York City. Shannon does talk about Love Hotel, and she talked about Earl. And if you watch Love Hotel, I liked Earl for Shannon. He was a little, but she's a little, look, for those that are listening to the podcast version, she's a little, you know what I mean? So she needed a guy that was a little, but I actually liked watching their little love affair on Love Hotel. Did I think that it was going to be anything long term? I think that it could have been. All right. I actually thought he would be good for her. But again, the Shannon that we see on the show is not the real Shannon, I don't think. 100%. I definitely think that there's a darker side of Shannon and what Shannon is goes through off camera. So I have a soft spot. Theo says Earl, not the pearl. Come on now. Earl is the pearl. All right. Padge Mom says Earl was odd. Shannon is odd. All right? Just saying. But again, they at least tried. They ended up with each other at the end of Love Hotel, and they tried to make it work. Shannon updates us in this scene that it didn't work out. All right. Yeah, Love Hotel was decent. Love Hotel was... The only bad part about Love Hotel is that there were quite a few people, half of the cast, that were there just to do a job. I would much rather see people that are really looking for love. Some might say that Countess Luann is not looking for love, but Countess Luann is still in communication with the guy that she connected with on there. I think Countess Luann ultimately would like to get married again and be in a relationship. Right now, she's just enjoying her singlehood. And she hasn't found that guy. I think she's been burned by her last marriage that, became big. And then, look, Jungle Boogie said he didn't even know that RHOC was back. Yeah, started last week. Be sure to check out our last recap. All right. So she said that she's kissed 4 different men in the last 6 months. She's scared to do any of the apps. I don't blame her. Didn't she? Wait a second. Was it last season that she had a matchmaker? Because I was about to say that she needs to get a matchmaker, but she did a matchmaker as her storyline. But I still think that she should do a matchmaker. I think because she is such a high-profile person, she's a public person, I think she should do a matchmaker again. But I also think she needs to work on herself. Shannon's not... Yes, I have a soft spot in my heart for Shannon. I feel like she's like a grandmother to us. But I also have heard some things about Shannon offline that I'm less like, she probably needs to work on herself. And we have to remember, she was dealing with issues with alcohol last season. I'm okay with her not rushing into a relationship. She needs to figure out why she was dependent on alcohol during those issues, okay? I'd much rather her focus on that and then think about a relationship later. Wait a second. I know y'all seen it says, I think Shannon still loves David. That man with the weird eyes, her ex-husband? Okay, it's not weird eyes, but the way that between the gray hair and those eyes, ooh. You know what I mean? So, I know every time I say grandmother, you guys think I'm being offensive. I'm not. You love your grandmother, right? Where's Patty Stanger? Patty Stanger is still a matchmaker. She's just not doing it on reality television, right? All right, let me hurry up because, like I said, I got to get out of here in like a half hour. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call link for you guys to share your quick thoughts for members first. I'm going to do that on the community tab. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. If you liked my monologue earlier where I was ripping into one of the viewers, be sure to come to the Kempire After Dark live show for the villain era. All right? You'll get that live and in person. Go get your tickets today. I'm coming to Atlanta August 5th. Then I'm coming to DC August 22nd. Atlanta's show is 3 weeks away. Atlanta, where you at? Go get your tickets today. Meet and greets are available for all the shows. I'm also coming back to New York City September 12th. The New York City show, though, has a live stream option exclusively. Go get your tickets today. All right, members, I've dropped the call link for you guys. Let me get back through these scenes. We've digressed so much. I'm behind. But I didn't love this episode. I don't care what anyone says. Y'all can say I'm biased, whatever it may be. I am giving grace to Emily this season because of what she's going through with her son, Luke. I don't care what you guys say. As someone that used to work with individuals with developmental disabilities, I worked with a family with children with autism. Her son is on a different level of the spectrum. I worked with people with severe developmental disabilities. And I can only imagine what she's going through. You can see, and a lot of times this causes issues in marriages when your child is diagnosed with a developmental disability. And she talks about, they went out and she had bought him fries, and then he took her phone and he used the flashlight to examine each fry. She's going through a lot, all right? And I feel like the audience should give her grace in regards to this as well, because she's still figuring out, first of all, what exactly is going on with her son, how she can help her son, how she can get him to eat. That's the most dire thing that they need to figure out, because he's not eating. And you understand, if you're not eating, that causes all kinds of other issues in first of all, a growing kid's body. So for me, that's important for us to consider and give grace for. Tiara, thank you so much. Tiara, what a cute picture. Thank you for the super chat. Kiara says, I hope Katie is in therapy. She needs to be. She needs to be. Hold on. There was a comment that I was trying to save and I missed it. Oh, here it is. Just Jules says, thank you for remembering, Just Jules. Patty Stanger goes on Jeff Lewis live a lot, and she herself is looking for love and said that she would be open to the next Bachelorette. So Patty Stanger can't even help herself? Okay. Okay, Canadian POV says her son's diagnosis doesn't change that her being a B word. Here's the thing. It doesn't mean that I won't call her out when I feel like she's wrong, but I'm still going to give her grace. Especially because some people were downplaying, saying that this was just a storyline, and then they were also saying that she shouldn't be bringing this to television. And I said, no, I'm glad she is, because she probably has helped individuals that were concerned about their children and they weren't able to figure out what might be going on with their child. Tanasa says, breaks my heart with what Emily's going through. We also have to keep in mind what we're seeing in this scene with her and Shane, that this does end up causing issues with relationships. So Foxy says, I like Emily sometimes. I like Emily sometimes as well. This season, I haven't really said, this is only 2 episodes though, I haven't really loved everything from Emily, especially with her issues with Katie. But again, Katie is not helping the situation at all. Missy said that's going to put a dent in her business, Patty Stangers. Oh, not the Bachelorette, someone said. Melissa says. I don't understand it, but when she's on Jeff Lewis Live, is she still matchmaking? Did she get a divorce? Was she married? I can't remember. Good Girl says, what is Patty's success rate with love matches? That's a good question. Or was she just good reality television? Just Jules says that Emily said on Watch What Happens. I did see this. She said her son is doing much better. But what she said, which is important, he's doing much better right now because he doesn't have the stress of school. She's not filming. So there are a lot of elements as to why he might be doing well during the summer because, kids are at home. They can kind of control things. School's probably stressing him out as well. But what I noticed in the conversation with Shane was that, this is putting a strain on the relationship. And Shane doesn't like the fact that she's she keeps saying as a mother. Shane, you're going to have to understand, being a mother and a father, I understand you're still a parent, but she carried Luke. She carried the twins. So it's just going to be a little bit different in regards to the connection that a mother and a child has. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know your thoughts as well. Not Golden Bachelorette. Damn, y'all are so cruel in this chat today. It is also Mercury's in retrograde. So that might be, maybe some of the things that I'm saying is not landing. This is what's causing miscommunication. It's the Mercury's in retrograde. Right, Nicki Minaj? Right, says, if you missed our coverage of the Nicki Minaj and says this stuff TikTok, I didn't do short form video. Go check it out on our YouTube channel. All right. Let's move on. So Jen hosts Katie's husband, and Gretchen. So this is the first time that we're introduced to Gretchen. What I didn't love was that when Jen was going through her issues with Tamra, she reaches out to Gretchen. I love Jen on the show, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, girl, like, why are we reaching out to old housewives? She's like, SOS, I need help, Tamra. I didn't love that. Matt, Katie's husband, gets along with Ryan now because all the whole situation with Ryan and the FBI and stuff was resolved, okay? So he feels okay with Ryan. Ryan's got a very big, beautiful home. We still don't understand how, but fine. Okay? Fine, whatever. So Jen talks about how the ladies were treating Katie. Here's the thing, though, Jen. You had a lot of mouth in this situation with the other couples at your home, but I felt like you didn't have that same energy for Katie in front of the ladies. You know what I mean? Anyone else notice that? I was just like, she's like, I didn't like the way that they were coming at Katie and they were ganging up on Katie. Again, we're watching an edited show, so it could be editing. Maybe. All right. Then, what are the other things they talk about during this? I'm going to kind of, because we have two scenes happening at the same time. Tamra and Heather are hanging out at Tamra's house. Tamra's getting work done on her kitchen. Heather's spilling champagne all over this bedroom. Cute scene. But Heather updates Tamra on, I just saw Gretchen. And of course, Tamra's just like, does she have a nose? Okay. Wait a second. LA Prince says, Kempire OC is very saturated with the Asian culture, so therefore there's a struggle with acceptance there, which is unspoken of non-acceptance, but people such as the Emilys and Tamras of OC. Oh, that's another caveat that we haven't considered. Thank you, LA Price, for that. I never thought about that. See? I appreciate you giving us context there. Okay, back to this. So Heather talked about seeing Gretchen. So, of course, Tamra wants to talk about her issues with Gretchen over the years. And she's like, does she have a nose now? Gretchen does have a problem with the face tune of it all, okay? But they also end up talking about Jen and what's been going on with Jen. So Tamra brings up this old photo of Jen where Jen looks a little bit heavier. But if you look at the photo, because she talks about how Jen's lips are fuller now, they're like hot dogs. All of y'all look different, including you, Tamra. All right? But I have to say, when you look at the picture a little bit closer, Tamra also alludes that Jen is trying to have her life. Next you're going to be working out online with Ryan. And then you show that's exactly what Jen is doing. I don't think that Jen wants Tamra's life. I think that's just the culture of the OC. Am I wrong for those of you that are from the OC? Like, I don't feel like getting the work done, having a certain body, doing yoga, working out all the time. I feel like that's just the culture of California and the OC. But when you look at the picture, Jen doesn't look that different. She probably lost a few pounds, but the shirt doesn't really show her fit. She definitely, especially when you show that picture against her in a bikini. But Tamra wants to say that Jen wants her life. Okay. We'll run with that narrative, okay? But back at Jen's house, they're talking about Tamra and all the issues that Jen has had with Tamra, okay? So this is where we get the update on Gretchen and what's been going on in Gretchen's life. We've already talked a lot about Gretchen at the top of this, but she says that I can't believe it's been that long since she's been on the show. 10 plus years. And then she says that people said that the relationship for many years was fake, but they're still together. Did you guys back then believe that her relationship with Slade was fake? I have to say, seeing Slade, for those that never watched Real Housewives of Orange County, if they watch this scene, they're not going to feel what you guys have updated me on when it comes to Slade and the years of what he's done on the show. We don't know if he has a job. We're going to have to call him Tommy, not Slade. He slept with how many different OC housewives before landing on Gretchen? Might be a deadbeat dad. When you find out all those things, they do mention the deadbeat dad of it all because Gretchen says she calls him a deadbeat dad. He's not a deadbeat dad. I also don't like the fact that she talked about his son who passed away from brain cancer. Again, I can agree the Slate is trash, but at the same time, Tamara's trash for talking about his son on her podcast and his finances and him being a deadbeat dad again. But again, is he a deadbeat dad? Did he not provide? Because she's saying that they had to do a GoFundMe to raise money for the funeral. Is that true? Because yes, Tamara is a terrible human being in a lot of ways. But is it true they had to raise money for the son's funeral through a GoFundMe? Just asking. Okay. Damn, Wendy says that Gretchen was his third housewife. But they've been together ever since. I will say this. Tamara trying to spread the narrative that Gretchen has been in communication with her daughter. When Gretchen only commented on that post the daughter posted, I'm like, that's not being in communication with the daughter or communicating with the daughter. Christian says that Slade is not a good person either now. Yeah, his son died. All right. I know y'all seen it says Slade rides for her, but not the best dad at times we were shown. Okay, not being the best dad is not necessarily being a deadbeat dad. So is he a deadbeat dad or is he not? Did they have to do a GoFundMe in order to have the funeral? Just asking. Dee Dee says Tamara's reaching with that one. Yeah, about the whole communication between Gretchen and her daughter. That doesn't speak to her still. Okay, let me move on. So they talk about that. I wanted to see if there was anything else. This was not my favorite episode. If I had to rate this week's episode, I probably would give it like a 6. Like a 5 or 6. It wasn't a great episode. It got better at the end, but that doesn't make a great episode. Oh, Kareen says, no, he is a deadbeat dad. Someone says Tamara has autism. No, we found out last week in the premiere episode she doesn't have autism. She was premature with putting that out on her podcast. Jess says, yes, he is a deadbeat. I mean, if they had to raise funds for your child's funeral, he might be a deadbeat dad. Just saying. All right, let's move on because I want to get to Katie's hot pot. So Katie's hot pot. I want to go to a hot pot. Now I think about it, when they had the broth in there, I was like, I could go for some noodles right now. But that's me. Have you guys ever been to a hot pot? I've never been to a place like this that's like a hot pot. When she said that she was going to host a hot pot, didn't you guys think that she was going to have it at her home? But I guess it's much easier for her to host it at this place as opposed to her home. But I thought she was going to have it at her home. That's what I thought. Mary on TikTok says Nick Slade never supported his son financially. Well, that does make you a deadbeat. He's never supported his son? Oh, Paris says, reminds me of Bridesmaid Night and The Son. Really? Oh. Exactly. I know y'all seen it says, we need to hear from the ex-wives. I'm going to say the people say he is. Have the ex-wives ever spoken out? I'm sure they have. Thank you, Mr. Melon Magic, for the super chat. Mr. Melon Magic says, I said they are both con artists because they were selling skincare saying it had CBD, but it had less than 1%. Inside Edition exposed them for it. What? Gretchen and Slade. Not they were on Inside Edition for lying. Ooh, Keith says, I love a hot pot. You should go to K-Pot in New York City. Thanks, Keith. I'm going to have to, I know my friend who's Vietnamese. I'm going to tell him, let's do this. Okay? See, Jess says hot pots are awesome. Wait a second. So do you guys agree that I thought she was going to have it at her home? But I guess this is so much easier because they have everything there. All right. Newbie says she was basically Portia. Gretchen took her best friend's man, Slade, and never let him go. What? Gretchen? It was Gretchen's best friend that was dating? The plot thickens. Paula says, I love me a hot pot. Now I want a hot pot. Y'all, it's lunchtime here in New York City. Thank you, SC says, Kempire, you have 15 minutes. Thank you. Let me move on. Let's get to the nitty gritty of it all. So the things that stood out to me during this hot pot situation, Tamara and Gretchen, their awkward introduction. She's like, hi, let's reintroduce ourselves. So they have that little awkward introduction. Fine. So Emily, again, last week's episode, Emily wants to make this her issue. She's just like, I don't know if I can trust you. Gina, not Emily, sorry. Gina. I always mix their names up in my head, but normally I get it right when I speak it out loud. But Gina, this is not your issue. Why? It's like, I don't know if I can trust you. But I will say she did move the story along because she was the one to spill the tea about Katie recording Shannon. Shannon was blindsided. She was just like, what? You recorded me? You recorded me? Tanya, you might be new here. I don't know Real Housewives of Orange County chapter and verse. I started recapping this during the pandemic when you guys asked me to recap it. It's the only city in Housewives that I have not watched from beginning to end. Okay? So yeah, I did not know any of that. Joe. Mara says, poor Joe. Oh, Joe. So Joe and Slade had broken up and Joe and Gretchen were not best friends. Okay, Deborah says Joe and Slade had broken up and Joe and Gretchen were not best friends. See how y'all try to paint a narrative? All right, so let me get back to this because as SC said, you have 15 minutes, all right? And I do want to get to a couple of the callers that are backstage. Callers, you will have 30 seconds to share your thoughts on Real Housewives of Orange County. So what stood out to me in this conversation at the hot pot is the fact that Gina tries to make this about herself, okay? However, Gina spills the tea that Tamra told them that Katie recorded Shannon. And Shannon was just like, you recorded me? And apparently shared it with Alexis. She said that first of all, I have to say, Katie says that she never recorded Shannon. Only for her to later say, oh, I was on a call with one of my business partners. I hung up, recorded, and sent the voice note to Matt, her husband. But in her confessional, she was like, Shannon was losing it. Da 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 da. So you recorded her to do what? To do what? To blackmail her later? And I don't think Katie was prepared when she told Alexis and Tamra, because at the time, Alexis and Tamra, were not best friends. They were close for last season. So she's telling them what she witnessed. I don't know if she played the recording for them. They didn't play the recording. Okay. But did you guys notice how Katie tried to throw Jen in there? And Jen was just like, I never heard the recording. And then they were like, but you knew about it. And she's like, I didn't know about it either. And then in Jen's confessional, Jen's just like, I just wish Katie would take ownership of what she does. And said, so do you guys think that Jen knew? I'm not sure. And again, I'm not saying that Jen is an innocent party here, because we talked about this last week. But Jen seemed completely blindsided. She's like, I didn't know about this. And I never heard the recording. Do you guys believe that Jen knew about the recording? I think Jen knew about the recording. I don't know if I believe whether or not she heard it or not. But what stood out to me was the fact that Katie denied it up until she couldn't deny it anymore. Katie literally said, I never recorded Shannon. Only for her to later admit she did record her. Shannon's just like, I gotta get up. Shannon always has to escape. Shannon gets up. And she's like, which is true. Shannon was literally in the middle of a litigation with John Jansen. So I can understand her being a little perturbed that Katie recorded her and basically told this to to Alexis at the time. Yeah. Monique says, Katie is weird. She has a thing with recording people. She'll get enough after a while. I don't know, y'all. Dee says that Katie is a pathological liar. I don't think she can help herself. We're noticing a pattern here. All right? Kaboom, I'm not going to even repeat what you just said in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, you can see what Kaboom said, okay? So it leads to this back and forth. Shannon is just like, I need to go. I can't process this. I need to go, okay? So she ends up leaving, but then it turns into a battle between Gretchen and Tamra and them rehashing their issues of what Tamra has said about Slade, what Gretchen commented under her daughter's posts. So they have their back and forth about that. But let me tell you something, what I got from their back and forth. I'm like, y'all are still arguing about stuff that happened like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. And I'm not sure I'm interested in them battling out the same issue from years ago. And I know a lot of you want Gretchen back to hold Tamra accountable. In that moment, I was like, this is the person? This is supposed to be the dragon slayer? Where's my dragon? This is supposed to be the dragon slayer of Tamra? I don't think she can. But again, we shall see. We shall see. Based off of that interaction, I was like, I'm not sure that Gretchen's going to be the dragon slayer that you guys think that she is. But maybe she is in the past. But in that moment, I was like, yeah, it was like 15 years ago, Mr. Melon Magic says. So I'm sort of like, I don't know if I'm interested in them rehashing beef from 15 years ago. And I know Tamara has talked about Slade back in 2023 on her podcast. But at the same time, I'm like, why are we rehashing things from 15 years ago? Okay. Karine says, no, she's not. But Dee says, oh, I think she can. So people are mixed. Some people feel like, because a lot of you said that that's what you thought that Gretchen would do this season, is that she would come and really hold Tamra accountable, be the person to really comfort for Tamra. Based off this interaction at the hot pot, I was like, I don't see it. I mean, I'm hoping for it because somebody needs to. Tamra would not survive on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I was like, all right, we shall see. Okay. Aditi says, give her time prior she got here. All right. So I'm just saying, based off my first introduction to Gretchen, I was like, I don't know. She almost says, makes sense. Jen is a Cancer. Happy Cancer season. I'm a Cancer rising. I just saw a video where they say that a lot more times your rising tells more about who you are than your sun sign. So who knew? And I always shade Cancers. Whatever. All right, let me take some quick callers, guys, because I have to go, as I mentioned before. And look, y'all not even showing a damn. If y'all not showing up for y'all, more people showed up for Real Housewives of Miami than for Real Housewives of Orange County. Is it over for Real Housewives of Orange County? Or did people run away when they thought I was defending Katie? Who cares? All right, let's bring in Cynthia real quick for a comic. Cynthia, what did you want to share about the latest episode of Real Housewives of Orange County?
Hi, Kempire. How you doing?
Oh, well, how are you?
Fine. Kempire, you know, Chioma, that's me. That's...
Hey, Cynthia. Chioma.
Hi, Kempire. Jen is a Cancer. I love Jen.
I love Jen, too, though.
I like Jen. This was a juicy episode, Cam.
Was
Kempire.
it?
To me, you know, anything goes for me. It was a good episode, though. You don't think so?
At the end,
the end, it was good.
Yeah.
At the end, it was definitely good. It was definitely good. Katie.
Time went up.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Katie. That's it. I like Katie, though, but I don't know. Not anymore.
I wanted to like Katie, but every week. It's only episode 2.
She's extremely messy. I was trying to figure out what Shannon did to her for her to do something like that. Was she trying to prove allegiance?
No. Here's the thing, though, because I know we love Shannon, but I think there's another side of Shannon that we don't see. And I think her being a newbie, probably trying to like, oh, what is going on here? Like, I still think that's weirdo behavior, but
it is.
Shannon's not innocent.
She's not, but it is what it is. I'll tune in next week. Thanks, Kempire.
Thanks, Chioma. Bye. Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Orange County?
Okay. What up, though, everybody? What up, though? This is what I got to say about Pinocchio. Pinocchio is just like Satan.
Wait, who's Pinocchio this week? I can't keep up. You talking about Tamra again this week?
No, Pinocchio is Katie, lying Katie.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry.
Okay? Pinocchio is going to be Pinocchio and blame everybody else for what she do because she's justified in what she do. When she's wrong and somebody checked her, that's what she did with Shannon. Shannon had checked her and she had to retaliate. She didn't have to retaliate, but she did. Because that's what she do. She'll piss you off, and then you come back and tell her what she did, she going to retaliate more against you. She's, a story has the beginning, the middle, and the end. She's always at the end because she's never going to tell you the beginning and the middle. Okay. Other than that, Satan gonna be Satan too. Ain't no help for her. Just have your holy water and just keep it stepping.
Damn. All right, Miss Bernice. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Bye.
A little bit of Alexa says Shannon, I think is it Slade or Slade? Someone just said that in the chat, and now I'm confused. What did I write down? Slade? I don't know. You guys will let me know. We could just call him Deadbeat. A little bit of Alexa says, Shannon, I think, has fits. The host of the dating show made the comment about her behavior, so I can see why Katie was annoyed and recorded it. I don't know if I would record it. I would keep that in the back of my mind and talk about it. I don't know if I would record someone. This is why I find it funny that Andy Cohen thinks that I recorded him. Yes. Okay. Google schmoogle it. Okay. Slade, right? It's Slade. Slade with a D. Okay, thanks, Keith. All right. Yeah, I still think that's weirdo behavior to record someone. I would put it in the back of my mind, like Shannon's not who you think she is. All right, Miss Sharon's backstage. Miss Sharon, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing today?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I watched the episode of Orange County this morning, but I do 3 things at one time, so I really didn't pay any attention to it. I was trying to understand it the first not first season, but the first episode. Then the second episode, I really didn't understand it. All I know is that woman, Katie, she's been talking to bloggers and talking about people's kids, and it's just a hot mess. But I'm glad to see Gretchen is back, but I wish Gretchen would have came back last season when Alexis was there, because Gretchen is the only one that could check Alexis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Sharon.
All right, that's all I had. The episode, I just put like a 7 through 10 because everybody else was doing 7 through 10, and I thought maybe I missed it, but I would have gave that episode a 5 because I really didn't understand it, really.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks
Catch
for
you
sharing.
later.
Bye. The other thing that came out at the hot pot situation was that Katie admitted to Tamra later on in a separate scene that she went through her DMs finally and confirmed that she ended up calling the blogger. We've caught Katie in so many lies. It's pathological at this particular point. It's concerning. Candace says that Gretchen and Alexis were friends, so they would have been tag teaming Tamra last season. All right, Angel's backstage. Angel, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kemp, I am not going to hold you. I know you have an appointment.
Thank you.
I just want to say that we need to get that middle-aged liar Katie off of our TVs, tablets, phones, however we decide to watch on Peacock or live, because how do you tell so many lies? You get caught in them. you don't remember them until you get caught in them with the receipts, and then you apologize and move on like you did nothing. Girl, bye. She gotta go. This better be her last season. And then Emily trying to take salmonella home at the end of the hot pot, and her Louis Vuitton had me dying on the exit.
I forgot about to talk about that. That's gross. That was gross. I think she's leaning into trying to be funny. And Emily, you're just naturally funny. Like all this, putting food in your purse now, in your pockets, it's gross at this point. All right. Thanks, Angel. All right. Dan is backstage. Dan, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Orange County?
Hello, Kempire.
Hey.
I might be the only one, but I really like Katie. And also, I do think that people are mistaking the timeline. The moment she recorded Shannon, it was before her first season aired. So they were not close. They were not friends, and she didn't want to retaliate.
Dan, I'm not hanging out with you. We're not close. So you're going to record me?
No. But what I think is that, at the last, the finale party of the last year, Shannon yelled at her husband. And I think she thought, oh, that's the Shannon that you saw. And she recorded and sent it to her husband saying, okay, now I see what you're talking about. For me, it does make sense. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But what she shouldn't have done is to talk about it with Tamra and Alexis, because Tamra is a friend to no one. She will use it at the right moment. And you can see it from the smirk on her face.
Yes.
When Gina told Shannon, she was so happy.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. All right. Keith says, remember when she was eating a sandwich in the sauna last season? Try hard, to be honest. Yeah, it's becoming a little too much. So she put a raw egg in her purse, thinking that it was hard-boiled egg. Hard-boiled eggs, anyone? Have you watched Traders? Yeah. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat, Venmo, Cash Apps. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith, thank you so much. Rahina, thank you so much for the Venmo. I saw that after yesterday's live. We appreciate your support. Keith says, hold on. Gina and Emily are seat fillers. Bootleg Giselle and Robin. Katie should not bootleg Giselle and Robin. Giselle and Robin are kind of bootleg. So for them to be bootleg Giselle's and Robin's, woo. Katie should call Phaedra for some lying lessons. Episode was a 7, but Gretchen's hair a 10. Gretchen did look good, so I don't know why she uses all that Facetune. But she did look good. I don't know if I would give the episode, me personally, a 7. I definitely think 5 or 6. 5 or 6 for me. Bravo Babe, you were mentioned yet again in this episode. So she admitted that Bravo Babe is the blogger that Katie was referring to, that she admitted to Tamara that she ended up calling. Katie is a liar. And I really did. I tried to use my psychology degree at the beginning of this episode, and it triggered some of you. Calm down. That I said maybe it stems from her childhood. Look, maybe it stems from her childhood. It's okay. All right, Trish says I put a 5 or 6. Yeah, I didn't love this episode. And I watched it twice. Okay? But I have to say, by the end, it got juicy. But again, it was us finding out that Katie's a liar. Here we are. Thank you so much on TikTok, Do EMS5. Thank you so much for the money gun. We appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone that was watching here on TikTok. If you missed it, be sure to follow us on YouTube. My full recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County will be there. You can also hear it on the Kempire podcast. We also started off this live talking about the Astronomer CEO. If you want to hear what we had to say yesterday, be sure to check that out. We found out that statement that came out apparently was not real, but we can pretend, can't we? All right. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. And of course, thank you to our subscribers. And those of you watching the bushes that still are not subscribers, it's okay. But if you're missing out on a lot. When we go live, when we have breaking news, all of that. And exactly. Denise says, yes, Kempire. She's a straight up liar. Katie. Yeah. That's sad. All right. And she's been caught in many lies. I don't see her coming back because there was a whole interview that Shannon did on Entertainment Tonight. Katie has no friends on this cast. Maybe Jen, but even Jen is seeing through her lies. So I don't see Katie coming back next season. And I kind of was rooting for Katie and Jen to be some of the newbies here on the show, but it's not landing. But Shannon did an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and allegedly Katie's going around telling people that they're going to build the show around her. There's going to be a reboot and they're going to build the show around her. Allegedly. This is what Shannon said. Shannon's still not in a good place with Katie. So this is going to be an interesting reunion. Shannon is a beloved person on Orange County. So the last couple of fans that Katie had, probably gone now. Look, gone. Katie, you did this to yourself. I even try to help you with some psychology to that. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. I couldn't even get the woo, woo, woo out. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Let me go because I'm going to be late. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, guys. We're almost at 300 likes. Thank you to everyone that will watch the replay. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on everything that I had to say. I'm not going to see it, though, because busy. All right. Bye, y'all. I'll see you guys later. Oh, don't forget, the Kempire After Dark Villain Era is coming to Atlanta August 5th. DC August 22nd. New York City September 12th. Go get your tickets. Ticket information is available in the description. And link in my bio for those watching on TikTok. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. As always, you can hear Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. More information can be found on KempireRadio.com.